Hey guys, it's Shannon and it's time for another Coffee at Luke's. Okay, so we are going to talk about episode 2 of season 1. Is everybody ready? So, like I said, I have my notes here in my Luke's menu, and as always, we have the Gilmore Girls Companion, aka the Bible, that we will be referencing. Okay, guys, so let's dive right in. This is episode 2 of season 1. It's called The Lorelei's First Day at Chilton. As we talked about, I like to give you the synopsis from the Netflix series, and then I dive in to give you the synopsis, which is really detailed from the one from the Bible. And then I'll dive into my notes and we'll just talk about the episode. And I encourage you, like I said, follow along, leave any kind of funny things that you saw or questions or maybe some trivia that people didn't know about or something I didn't cover that you guys know of. Leave it all in the comments so we can get a conversation going. I really would love that. And like I said, let's just dive right in. So the Netflix synopsis is Rory's first day at Chilton doesn't go smoothly. First, Lorelei's attire offends Emily and the headmaster. Then Rory meets some obnoxious classmates. That is really basic. I mean, I get what Netflix is doing. It is they didn't want to give too much away, but it's really basic. So this first aired October 12th of 2000. This one was written by ASP, who is Amy Sherman Palladino. I will just call her ASP from now on. And this one was directed by Arlene Sanford. Okay, so like I said, now I'm gonna give you the synopsis from the companion guide here. It's crazy. So it says Rory's first day at Chilton is a day from hell, from being late to school to her mother's ridiculous laundry day outfit. Before the day is out, she'll meet and inspire the wrath of Paris Eustace Geller after accidentally destroying her diorama and come up against the leering Tristan Dugray. While Rory finally stands up to Paris at school, Lorelai cancels the DSL internet connection Emily ordered for Rory and tells her mother that she will decide what's best for her daughter. Yet at the end of the day, the girls have each other, and that's enough for now. I just think they put in the most random stuff in this thing. I mean, talking about Paris's full name, which is fine, but I don't think we actually get that in the episode. We only know it because of later episodes. So I just think they're totally random. If you were reading this as you were watching the show, you wouldn't know what the heck they were talking about. And like I said, I'm trying really hard not to divulge too much information because I've seen the episode so many times. But some of this stuff is just crazy. So the first scene of season 2, of episode 2, is Rory and Lorelai sitting on the front porch. And first of all, Lorelai is painting Rory's toenails as Rory's sitting there with a can of Ready Rip just spraying it in her mouth. And I think that's great because that so is them. That is something that they will both do. I love it. And I love private school girls are bad and bad girls always wear red nail polish. I can tell you, and I don't know if it came from this or anything else, but I would never let my daughter wear red nail polish on her fingers or her toes when she was younger because I just didn't like it. And I'm pretty sure it probably came from this. But yes, red girls always wear red nail polish. So, and then Lane comes running up the porch with a CD, which is XTC Apple Venus Volume 2. And the song that they play as they go in dancing in the living room is I'm the Man Who Murdered Love. That song is great, by the way. I've listened to at least that song and a couple other ones by XTC. It's actually really, really good. So that can be found on Apple iTunes for sure, because that's what I have is an iPhone. So I looked it up. At first, I thought they were sitting at a couch on the porch, but it's just some long furniture that's, you know, kind of like a bench kind of thing. But at first, I was like, oh, that's really cool. They have a couch. It's not a couch. Then you have the credits, and then we open up with Lorelai's Paul Frank monkey pajamas. I love those pajamas. They are so cute. I will leave a little insert of the Paul Frank monkey so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I love those pajamas. And I love this quote from Rory because she's waking up Lorelai because it's already 7:10 and she's running late to get her to school for the first day. You know what happens to people when they are late on their first day of school? And Lorelai says, it's shorter. No, for the rest of the year, they are labeled the late girl. My thing is she's already going to be the new girl. How is that different than being the late girl? I don't know. I just thought that was funny. And then Lorelai says it's already, or Lorelai it says it's already 7:10. She said she was going to pick up her clothes from the dry cleaners. Whose dry cleaners open before 7? She said she had her whole day planned out. She was going to get up, go to the dry cleaners. What dry cleaners open before 7? I find that weird. She would have picked it up the night before, right? That's what the rest of us normal people do. But they did give some really good words to live by. That's the last time I buy anything just because it's furry. I'm just saying. Words to live by. Then Lorelai comes downstairs in pink short sleeve tie-dye shirt and cut off shorts. That's the only thing she had clean. She didn't have a pair of jeans. Who washes their jeans every time they wear them? She couldn't find a pair of jeans, or I don't know. I just thought it was so weird and random that she would have found that. I mean, a simple little ugly dress would have been better, I think, to take your daughter in than that. But whatever. And Roy's comment, of course, is, I didn't know the rodeo was in town. Lovely line. I really like the way that when they pull out in the Jeep, they're driving around town, and you see that the world their town still goes on. It doesn't just revolve around them. You have the kids going to school. You have, other things going on in the town. I just thought that was cute and a really great shot, and I really like that. And then right after that, so we see that town, we go right into the gargoyles of Chilton. Just kind of gives you that, dark, sinister kind of, ooh, this is going to be scary kind of thing. And then Lorelai's comment, or I can't remember which one says this. I think it's Lorelai. I remember it being small and less off with their heads. So totally throwing back to like cartoons, or you always have the witch and how sinister, or I think Gotham is what I think. How Gotham is always dark and sinister and that kind of thing, and then the rest of the world is always bright and cheerful, and you totally get that. Like I said, when they were driving through town. Bright, cheerful town, people talking to each other, and then you have the gargoyles and that kind of thing. Lorelai gets hit on, of course, by one of the dads, which was really cute, and of course, it's so funny because, of course, he probably hit on her because of her outfit, thinking she was this kind of, maybe cool, not traditional kind of mom. I'm thinking that's why she got hit on, but the shot of Paris, Louise, and Madeline reminds me of the Mean Girls from 2004, that movie, because you see them just standing on the stairs. You have Paris, you have Louise, and you have Madeline, all just kind of standing there with the resting bitch face that they have and just, glaring at Rory, and I loved it. My thing is, now she has a bright yellow backpack. Like I said in the last one, why did she have to get a new backpack? The other one was leather and super cute, and she does have this backpack all through Chilton. Why does she have to have the bright yellow backpack? I don't understand. And I love how she goes in and she's like Lorelai Gilmore and Lorelai Gilmore. 2 names. She named it out herself. I think that's probably the first I've ever heard of that. I know they do have different middle names, but we'll get to that when they come up. Who would be waiting for them? But of course, Emily. They should have guessed that that was going to happen. Chilton is definitely part of Emily's world, not the Stars Hollow world, not Lorelai's world. So, of course, Emily's going to be there. This one got me, though. So the headmaster, he says he tells Lorelai to take off her coat because they were overzealous with the furnace. But he has a fire going in the fireplace in his office. Hello, that's crazy. If it's so warm, don't start a fire in the fireplace. I don't know, I'm just saying. Rory talks about how she wants to go to Harvard and study journalism and political science. And she wants to be Christiane Amanpour, which I think is, it's definitely, you can tell she put a lot of thought in who she wants to be. And that's when Headmaster Charleston goes, oh, you don't want to be Cokie Roberts or Oprah or Rosie or one of the women from The View? She never mentions she wants to be on TV. She wants to see the world and report things and write. That's all she wants to do. She never mentions that she wants to be on TV. I don't know why he jumped to that conclusion. It's not like when you think, newscasters, you don't automatically go to Cokie Roberts. Christiane Amanpour. Back then it was Cokie Roberts who was all over the news covering things, or Oprah or Rosie, that kind of thing. So I don't know why Christiane Amanpour and Oprah are totally not in the same world whatsoever. I don't know why he jumped to that conclusion, but I guess it's to make us know that's not what she wants to do. I guess it was just for our benefit. Rory then goes to the admin office. Her folder is then passed outside to Paris, Louise, and Madeline, who are sitting right outside the window, and their conversation is so funny. Um, so Paris is reading, and it says Lorelai Gilmore, and she goes, "Nice stripper name. Formerly of Stars Hollow High School." Somebody says, "Where's that?" "Drive west, make a left at the haystack, and follow the cows." And somebody says, "Ooh, a Dixie chick." I just think that is so funny. There was no recipe in this episode to go off with the cookbook that I've been talking about. You know, the unofficial Elika Gilmore, the unofficial cookbook for fans of Gilmore Girls. There was no recipe for season 2 in this one. The only reference of a recipe was when Headmaster Charlton will start talking to Rory, and he talked about the lobster puffs he had at Emily's house, but that recipe was not in the book. So there will not be, I did not make a recipe for this episode, so just so letting you guys know. And then when Rory goes to Luke's, and he goes, "I don't have any coffee, I have herbal tea." She goes, "This is a coffee morning every day." He goes, "Every day to you is a coffee morning." She goes, "This is a jumbo coffee morning. I need coffee and an IV." I feel that way every morning. Every morning I have to get up, it's a coffee morning every day. And he goes, I love when she goes, "The fuzzy clock didn't purr on time." Just thought that was amazing. When they're back at Lorelai and Rory's house, take a look for the ugly clown pillow. That is supposed to be in every episode. I'm going to have to go back and see because I don't always remember it. I remember it sporadically, but supposedly it's supposed to be in every episode. And that is actually Amy Sherman Palladino's pillow that she puts as a prop. So everywhere, somewhere, there's supposed to be this ugly clown pillow in the house. So you have to look for that. And I'll make reference of that if I see it. I'll try to put those in there. And then all the stuff that Chilton has. Logo socks, sweaters, vest, a sweater vest and a sweater, a book bag, and a coat. That is just a little bit of overkill. You know, I can't see Roy wearing all of that if that's what Lorelai, or that's what Emily bought her. Maybe one thing, such as a sweater, but that's just crazy that she would want to buy her all that stuff and really have that child kind of stand out and just, be this Chilton poster girl or anything. Tristan DeGray. I hate Tristan, you guys. I do not like him. I think he's slimy. You'll see as the episodes go on. I'm just not a fan of his. And my notes, it says Tristan DeGray, and I put gross. I just don't like him. I don't like him. And then always calling Rory Mary. I've never heard of that, but I guess it is saying that she looks like a goody-goody, that she's like a Virgin Mary. I've never heard that before. I don't know if it's an upper kind of thing. Obviously, I was not raised going to prep school or anything like that. But so that was the name and why she's always called Mary by Tristan. And I think he's one of the only ones that does it is Tristan, but nobody else does. The obscene amount of notes that this teacher hands Rory is crazy just for one. She only came into the school a month late. He hands her a binder so thick of notes. It's just ridiculous. This is the first time that we see Jackson, who is a produce guy. Love Jackson. I think he's great. He plays a role. He's throughout the whole rest of the series, and I just love Jackson. You see him with Suki and the peaches, and I've never heard of rolling peaches. I'm just saying to see how watery they are, but obviously I'm not big into produce. I'm not a chef. I'm not a cook or anything like that. But their banter back and forth is just great, and I love Suki and Jackson. Michelle being rude. He has probably some of the great one-liners of the show, and I love Michelle. I wish I could be that rude at my job when I have to deal with customers. I can't. I just couldn't pull it off, but he does just flawlessly, and I love it. My favorite one is when the old lady comes up to him and she goes, "Where can I find the best antiques?" And he goes, "Hey, your house, I would guess." That's just crazy. I love that line. I love that. And you'd have to, the way he says it so fast and then just walks away, the lady's like, "What?" And then she gets mad after it registers, and I just love that. Of course, we have more Rudrella. Drella, you guys, is great. I love Drella. She's the lady that plays the harp, and she's just super rude. Like I said, she was originally supposed to play the role of Suki, and she is married to the real life Jackson in real life. But Drella is great, and we will see her come back in a few more scenes as Drella. The gentleman from earlier comes to ask out Rory or ask out Lorelai at the end. Hey, he must really want to date her if he drove the 30 minutes to Stars Hollow to actually hunt her down. So that was kind of cool. Um, of course, we see that Rory backs into Paris, drops the project on the floor, and that right there obviously cements their relationship and how it's going to be. You know, we're going to have the bitterness and the trying to one up each other. So that definitely keeps going forward. We do see this population of Stars Hollow, which is 9,973. I knew we saw that somewhere. I know I talked about it in the first episode, but yes, we do see the population 9,973. You could totally tell that when Lorelai's mentioning at Luke's about the guy who asked her out, she's totally fishing to see what his expression would be and to see what his reaction is. I mean, it's just her way of flirting. We all do it. All us girls do it. We love to flirt with guys or see their reaction to see if they like us too. And that's exactly what happens. It also marks the first time we see the no cell phone sign from Luke's Diner. This is a magnet that I got from Stars Hollow Monthly. But it's the no cell phone sign that is always displayed at Luke's. Trust me, he will reference it a lot. Okay, so I do have that. Babette, Maury, and Cinnamon. I love them so much. Babette and Maury are just so cute. Maury is this cool jazz kind of musician. I just love him. And Babette is just Babette. This loud, you know, say whatever comes out into her mouth just kind of person. And they are perfect together. I love the short and the tallness of them. I just love it. And Cinnamon the cat. We love Cinnamon. And I love how she said they were talking about the DSL guy and how he kicked the gnome. The gnomes play a very big part to Babette and Maury's life. They do not have kids. They have their cats and they have their gnomes. First time that we see Mick, who will later become Kirk. Kirk is the town, just everyman. He will keep popping up. He's the perfect kind of towny person. I love Kirk. We are going to start keeping track of the jobs that Kirk has because almost in every episode he will have a different job. And I have already started a couple documents on Facebook. One is going to be Kirk jobs so we can list them all and see how they were. Like I said, he was called Mick in this episode, but he comes back. He is the same person. And, you know, Amy Sherman Palladino loved him so much that she wrote him in each episode after that. And he definitely does become a season regular very shortly. So like I said, his first job is the DSL installer. I love that she hides her keys in a turtle. That's just so random. I love that. And you can, back at Chilton now, when Rory beats Paris to the answer to the Martin Luther question, the look on Paris's face just shows like, oh crap, this girl's serious and I got my work cut out. I love that you can actually see that on her face. I love this. Back in 2000 when we still had to talk about DSL versus dial-up internet and who has dial-up internet anymore. I love that that's definitely a sign of the times back in 2000s there. So that was kind of neat. And then it ends, of course, with them staring at Luke through the window and Lorelai asking Rory what she thought of Luke. So that's just, I love that. It's definitely a precursor of things to come. And, like I said, I love this episode. I really do. Now I'm going to give you the few notes that I took from the Gilmore Girls companion. They give just a few notes that I didn't pick up on. And some of them are behind the scenes kind of notes. So there was some noodling about the names of the series. And first it was going to be called The Gilmore Way before finally becoming back to the original title. So it went from The Gilmore Girls and then The Gilmore Way to finally just Gilmore Girls. And I want you to remember this because it is a very something that will happen way later, but it's funny that they took out the and just made it Gilmore Girls. But they did say never mind the fact that every script would say the Gilmore Girls, even though the title was just Gilmore Girls. On the script itself, they said the Gilmore Girls. So I thought that was kind of neat. And Michelle and he goes, excuse me, there's a phone call for you. And if I'm to fetch you like a dog, I'd like a cookie and a raise. I love him. Love him, love him. And Miss Patty, though, is probably one of the funniest characters. And as she's talking to her little dance students, and it says, now walk smooth. That's the new Harry Potter on your head. And if they should drop, Harry will die and there won't be any more books. This is, like I said, this is 2000. This is right when Harry Potter is getting started. And I think it's such great that they threw that in there. Like I said, these shows are heavy on pop culture, be it movies, be it, books, be it filmed, whatever it is, TV shows, just random trivia facts. I love that about this show. And like I said, that was episode 2 of season 1. Like I said, there was no recipe for me to insert photos in. There was, nothing like that. This is just a great kind of laying the foundation of the show, and it, really incorporated some more characters, especially Paris and Louisa Madeline and more of Kirk or Mick as you would, and just keeping with the Lorelai and Luke dynamic and getting that started. So yeah, definitely a great episode 2. And like I said, I love this show, guys. Leave comments, watch along with me. I really would appreciate it. I think it's so much fun. I'd love to, like I said, get a conversation going. Tell us why you love it. Tell us why the show just rings to you. What is it about it? And yeah, I will see you in another one, guys, next time for Coffee at Luke's. Bye, guys.